Hey everybody, we're kind of getting to the close of the foundation repair job, so thought this might be a good time to review the process and go through some of the steps that we've been following. So step one, obviously, is to dig it out, excavate the foundation all the way down to the bottom of the footing. And then we power washed it, got it as clean as we possibly could. In some cases that actually meant scrubbing it with a wire brush where the power washer just wouldn't remove the tough stuff. And then two steps we took in repairing it. One is repairing any holes and cracks in the foundation wall itself. And there were quite a few of those, and different approaches for different situations. In this corner, it was just so bad, poured kind of a wedge of concrete in there and then sealed that up with mortar around the edges. Lots of little cracks and holes, some really large holes. Here we had a sewer line and two generations of supply lines coming through the wall here that left two small holes and one very large hole in the wall. So that was forms were installed on both sides, and we poured concrete through the top hole to just totally fill that cavity and then patch that hole up with mortar. And then finally, in some situations, there just wasn't adequate footing to get proper waterproofing done, and also there were some structural issues with that, even though it seems to be holding up pretty well over time. So here's a good example. You can see that this part of the footing is about 2 to 3 inches, well, about 2 inches wide right here, and it actually tilts in under the house, so there's really nothing there supporting this wall but the concrete that's directly under the wall itself. So in these cases, we built some 2x forms, and see if you can see this, drilled about a 4-inch hole horizontally into the side of the old footing and anchored about a 6-inch piece of rebar into that footing with an epoxy that's designed for anchoring things into concrete, and then wired that up into a piece of horizontal rebar that goes across the entire length of the footer. So we've got 3 of those pegs coming out of the side and then a horizontal piece attached to that, and forms in place. The side of the footing wall has been cleaned as well as possible. So we'll paint an adhesive onto the side of it before we pour, just a bonding agent mixed with some mortar that will give us better adhesion of the new concrete to the old. So let's go around here and show one more thing. Another situation that was addressed was just parts of the wall where the mortar was so bad it just had to be removed, couldn't really be patched up. So along this stretch of wall, all the mortar between the blocks that are going to be below ground was cut out with a diamond saw on a grinder, a diamond blade on a grinder, and replaced with new high-strength mortar. All the mortar we used was S-type, so that's the mortar for below-ground applications. And so this is what the finished product looks like. This section We poured a footer extension, patched up the wall, and the footer extension was poured concrete, and then finally laid a heavy, very heavy bed of mortar on top of the new concrete and angled that so that the water will drain away from the house when it sits on top of the footer. So that's the finished product, and that is essentially the process. So now this whole section, after we pour that other piece over there, will be ready to waterproof. So next video we'll walk through all the steps for waterproofing the foundation once all the repair work is done. See you then.